Good day everyone, Mr. Cargill here with our next AutoCAD video. Now in this video we're going to look at how we go about making the perfect dimension lines for architectural drawings in AutoCAD. So let's go. Alright, so for this drawing here, we can see that this drawing is poorly dimensioned. We have numbers running into numbers. The lines, it's not clear where the lines start and end. We have a bunch of numbers just jumbling up in certain sections and so on. Also, the inside of the building is not dimensioned. So this is an example of a drawing that is poorly dimensioned. Now here we have an example of a drawing that is properly dimensioned. As you can see, we have multiple dimension lines to dimension different things so that we don't have numbers running into each other. We also have these architectural ticks so that we can know exactly where the different lines start and end. Also, we can see that the inside is dimensioned, so we are able to dimension things that we're not able to dimension on the outside. We can do that on the inside and so on. So this is an example of a drawing that is properly dimensioned, and there is enough information here that we could use to actually create this building in real life if we wanted to, because the dimensions are correct. And you also are to include notes where necessary. So for example, here it says all dimensions are given in millimeters and so on. Okay, the width for the walls here are not dimensioned, but that is okay as long as it is in like a note to say that, you know, your external walls are 150 millimeters while the internal walls are 100 millimeters or something like that. Okay, so let's now see how we will go about fixing these dimensions and making them look better. First thing I'm going to do is this. I am going to dimension a part of the drawing just to see what my dimensions look like currently. Alright, so there. So as we can see, our numbers are there, but they are super tiny, and we have arrows here, but they are very small, so we need to change that. Now this is a floor plan. Floor plans are normally done at a scale of 1 to 50. So sometimes when you're doing drawings like these, as soon as you open the drawing, you can come here and you can change the scale to 1 to 50, and that will kind of help you to adjust certain things in terms of like number sizes and so on. But I am going to show you how to do all of this manually, so let's go. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is this. We're going to click the annotation drop down and we're going to be making some changes. So the first thing we're going to do right here, where it says ISO 25 here, this is your dimension style. So I'm going to click this drop down. Well, not that drop down, this drop down for my dimension style. And now I'm using ISO 25, so I'm going to just click manage dimension style. If I was using annotative, I would click on annotative and then click on manage dimension style. If you are not sure which one you're currently using, just click on ISO 25. Most of the times that's the one that you're going to be using. And if not, you can come back and try annotative or standard. So then I'm going to click manage dimension style. I'm going to go to modify. Alright, so we are going to start, let's go from left to right. So we're going to start with the lines. Now the lines are directly on the building. I don't want them to be directly on the building. I want some space between the lines and the building. So I'm going to change this from 0.625 and I'm going to change this to about 50. The reason I'm using 50 is because it is so close to the building. So I'm just using a larger number so you can get a good distance away from it. If it had said like it was like 0.1 or something like that, then I'll probably use like 25 or a smaller number. So I'm just using random numbers to see what works, and I can go back and change afterwards if needs be. So I'm going to come to symbols and arrows right here where it says first. I'm going to change this and I'm going to change it to architectural tick because we are doing architectural drawing. Once you change it for the first, it's going to change for the second as well. And for the leader, we can leave it as close fill. You could change it to architectural tick, but I'm not going to be dimensioning any circles or arcs or so on, so it doesn't really matter in this specific case. But if you're going to be dimensioning circles or arcs, if you want to, you could change it to architectural tick. Now for the arrow size, because my arrow sizes were so small, I'm going to change these to quite a larger number. Let's do probably like 75 or so. Do I need to change anything else? I think it's okay. If we need to change anything else, we can come back. Now we're going to come to the text and the text height. We want the text to be bigger as well. So we're going to change the text height to, let's change it to about 100. We could change it to 75 since we changed the arrows to 75, but I just want my numbers to be a little bit bigger and more visible. And the next thing I want to do is I want to change this to align with dimension lines. So let me show you. If I have this text alignment as horizontal, then my numbers are going to be horizontal and above the line for my horizontal dimensions, but whenever I'm doing vertical dimensions, my numbers are going to be running through the dimension lines, which I don't want. I want them to be parallel to these lines and parallel to the dimension lines. So I'm going to click aligned with dimension lines, and what happens now is that they're aligned both vertical, horizontal, and any other angle or anything. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to offset this from the dimension line. Right here the numbers are kind of sitting on the dimension line, and I don't really want that. I want them to be above the dimension line, so I want some space between the numbers and the dimension line. So this is at 0.625. I'm going to change this to probably about 25 or 30. Let's try 30, see what that looks like. Alright, good, so everything is good for here. Well, actually let's change this. Now for the text style that we currently have, it's okay, there's nothing wrong with it, you can keep it, but to me it's just kind of boring, and there are some more fun styles that you can use for architectural drawings. You can scroll through and you can look at what types you like, so just click the drop down arrow here. Alright, and then once you do that now, you can look through, but for me I know which style I want, so you can type it if you know which style I want. I like this style here, Stylus BT. The reason I like this style is because it just looks more fun, this is it right here, than the previous one that I had there. So I'm going to apply that and then close. Lovely, so we have that now. I don't think I'm going to change anything else here. Let's go out to fit. Fit is okay, we don't need to trouble anything in fit. Alright, so it says right here, text placement. When text is not in the default position, where do you want to put it? If I'm dimensioning a small space like the width of a wall, and the numbers are kind of large, so the numbers can't fit within that space, they're asking me if I want to put them beside the dimension line or over the dimension line with a leader, with an arrow pointing at them to say that, you know, this is a specific size or so, or over the dimension lines without a leader, or, you know, how do we want to go about doing it. We can keep it at beside, but let me try it over, just for you to see what it looks like. Alright, and then now we can go to primary units. For my primary units, I want to keep this at 0, and for my units now it's in decimals. If you're using the imperial, and you will get feet and inches. However, we're going to display both feet and inches and also decimals, so both the imperial and metric system. And we're going to do that by coming over here and clicking on alternate units, and then we're going to click on display alternate units. We're going to change this precision to 0 because we don't want any fractions or decimals or anything like that. And then we're going to select either architectural or architectural stacked. So let's do architectural stacked. Alright, so there we have that. Now down here it says that this is in feet and inches, which is what we want, and it says we can put it after primary value, but we don't want to put it after primary value, because if you put it after primary value, you will have the millimeter measurements, then you're going to just have the feet and inches right beside it, and it just looks like a long list of numbers. So we're going to put it below. When you put it below, it just looks better. So there we have that. So now we can click OK. I don't need to change anything in tolerances. I just click OK and close this. So now let's dimension. Now in our dimensioning, we're going to have 3 sets of dimension lines. On the first set of dimension lines, we're going to have windows, doors, and the spaces between them. So on this wall, we don't have any doors. We're just going to do the dimensions for the windows and the spaces between them. So let me show you what I mean by that. And we're going to bring that out by 600 millimeters. So for example, if I'm to dimension this window here, and I click here, and then I click right at the end of the window here. So if I bring this out now, I'm going to bring this out by 600 millimeters. Press enter. There we have that. So now I would dimension the space between this window. So as you can see, this dimension looks way better. We have the numbers in metric and imperial. We also have our architectural ticks. We have our dimension lines starting away from the building and so on, so it just looks better. Now on this same dimension line, we would have this like space between this window to the next window. So we'll dimension that, and then we'll dimension this next window. Click here, then I will just click here. And I could either click this point or I could bring this out by 600. You would dimension this space here, and then the next window, and so on. So this is what you would have on the first dimension line: the windows, the doors, and the space between them. So we'd also dimension this here like that, and we would also dimension this space here from here to here. Bring this up like that. Now for this number, as you can see, because it cannot fit in this space, it is set up like this. So what we can do now is this. We could leave it like this if we wanted to, or we can change this. So over here in annotation, we can go back over here, manage dimension style once more. modify, and we can go back to fit, and we can change this to beside dimension line if we wanted to. I'm just showing you different ways that you can go about doing it. Close. So when I click beside dimension line, it goes beside it, but I don't want it in this space because it's not clear that it's dimension in here. It looks like it's in the window space. So what you could do is to click here, and I could move it to the middle here to have it in there, or I could also bring it over to this side if I wanted to. So there are multiple ways how you could go about doing that. Alright, now for your second set of dimension lines, you're going to bring them 1200 millimeters away from your building, and you're going to have the room sizes and the wall width. So again, you don't necessarily need to dimension the width of the wall, but if you're not going to dimension the width of the wall, you have to have some notes or something that indicates the size of your walls. Alright, so now I'm going to click here. So for example, if I wanted to dimension this bathroom, I would dimension from here, and I'll come over here where the bathroom ends right here, and I would dimension this and bring this up by 1200 millimeters like that. And then now let's say I wanted to dimension this wall width, so I would dimension from here to here, bring this up to here, and then I could click this and I can move this if I wanted to, and I could bring it either here, or I can bring it over this side, or I could also make the number smaller and so on, but I want all my numbers to be the same size. So I'm just showing you different ways, and this is just one dimension style. This is not like a set rule that this is what your dimensions have to be like. So I'm going to come here. So I want to dimension this wall width now. So I'm going to come here, bring my mouse up to here, come here. Then I can dimension that and so on. So for example, I could move this and bring it to the center like this if I wanted to, and so on. So you know, there are multiple ways you can go about doing this. Now on this same dimension line, I would continue doing that. I would dimension the closet, then I would dimension this wall width, then this living room, and so on. So that's what you would have on your second set of dimension lines. Now you want to dimension certain things on the inside. So for example, this wall, I wouldn't be able to dimension this wall on the outside, so I would dimension this wall on the inside, like this wall, these walls, all these internal walls, you would dimension them on the inside. You don't need to do any dimensions for furniture and stuff like that. Also, so for example, if I wanted to dimension here, alright, so let's say I want to dimension this wall, click here, and I bring this up by 600. If I was to dimension this window here, like this, and bring this up by 600, then what happens is that I would have this dimension line running into these numbers, which I don't want. So what I would do is I would dimension this, I would just dimension this side of the wall here, like this. And of course you could move this over like this. And what I would do is I would just dimension this wall on the inside. So you want to avoid having numbers running into numbers and stuff like that. Alright, now the next thing I want to do is this. So for these dimension lines, I would continue going all the way across by dimensioning everything else. The closet, the bedroom, the wall width, and for the living room and so on. So now you'd have one last dimension line. This last dimension line is going to be for your overall dimension on one side of the building. So for example, I want to dimension this side of the building from here all the way to over here, and then I can bring this up now by 1800 millimeters, and there we go. So that dimensions this entire side of the building. So you want to ensure that whatever textile you have for your dimensions, you have the same textile for all the other text on your drawing. So what we're going to do over here is this now. We are going to come back to annotations here, and we are going to click beside this A. This is for textile, so I'm going to click this drop down. So for me, I'm using standards. I'm going to click manage textile. So I already have my textile set to stylus BT, so my text and my dimensions are the same. So to change it, what you would do is to click this drop down arrow here, and you can scroll through, or you can type the textile that you want, and then you just do that to ensure that you have the same textile for your dimensions and also your text. Alright, so let me go ahead and close this. Alright, and you just continue doing that, dimension this side over here as well, put in the internal dimensions where necessary, add notes where necessary, and so on. So thank you for watching, and I do hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please remember to like, share, and also subscribe.